The family secret that broke us. The room went quiet the moment my sister's words left her mouth. It wasn't just the words, it was the way she said them. Cool, sanctimonious, as if every syllable had been sharpened beforehand and aimed directly at me. We were at my mother's dining table, the clatter of cutlery and low hum of conversation filling the air, until my sister decided to drag my past into the spotlight. Again. I felt my stomach twist, as her boyfriend, sitting tall and pious beside her, turned his gaze on me. His eyes, hard, judgmental, glinting with something close to revulsion, landed on me like a verdict. And that was when something inside me snapped. I was 22, a mother of twins who had already taught me more about resilience than most adults ever learn. But I hadn't forgotten the girl I once was, the terrified 14-year-old clutching a pregnancy test in a locked bathroom, heart hammering so violently she thought it might split her ribs. That girl had been alone, navigating a storm far too big for her. And though I loved my children with a ferocity that sometimes startled me, I would be lying if I said I didn't sometimes wonder what life would have been like if I'd had them later. When I was ready, when I wasn't still a child myself. I knew my choices had left scars. I had carried them, lived with them, and owned them. But my sister? She weaponized them. When she was 15, she had made her own choice, a secret whispered in sterile clinics and hidden from her friends. She'd chosen abortion. A decision she never wanted aired. A decision she regretted, but one she buried deep beneath the layers of her new identity. Because now, she was a Christian, a fervent one. Every sermon, every verse, every moral code had become ammunition for her crusade. And the target was often me. It wasn't enough for her to find peace in faith. She needed to use it as a mirror, tilted just so, to reflect every imperfection of mine. In front of strangers, in front of family. And now, before the man she clearly wanted to marry. That night, she leaned forward at the table, her voice sweet but dripping with judgment. Of course, my sister couldn't wait until marriage. She had her kids at 14. Such a sin. Such a shame. Her boyfriend's fork clinked against his plate. He looked at me, lips tightening as if I were something foul crawling across the tablecloth. And that was it. The dam inside me burst. If we're talking about sins, I heard myself say, my voice steady, almost calm. Maybe we should mention that you had an abortion at 15. The effect was instant. My sister's face went pale, her fork frozen halfway to her mouth. Her boyfriend's head snapped toward her, eyes widening with shock. The room, once filled with chatter, fell into suffocating silence. Her lips trembled. And then, tears. Big, shuddering sobs ripped from her chest as if I had struck her across the face. She pushed her chair back violently, stumbling to her feet, knocking over her glass. Red wine bled across the white tablecloth. She didn't stay. She fled. I left soon after, my own hands shaking as I gripped the steering wheel, replaying the moment over and over in my head. Had I gone too far? I knew her secret. I knew she regretted it. And I had used it like a knife. But wasn't it fair? Hadn't she been cutting me for years? Slashing at wounds I never tried to hide? The phone rang later that night. My mother. I understand why you did it, she said softly, her voice weighed down with weariness. But you shouldn't have said that. That was her pain to share, not yours. She humiliated me in front of her boyfriend, I snapped. She brought up my past, again, and expected me to sit there and take it. I'm tired of being her punching bag. I know, my mother whispered. But two wrongs don't make a right. She regrets what she did. You knew that. I clenched my jaw. If she had minded her own business, I would have minded mine. And with that, I hung up. The fallout came fast. Texts, calls, family whisper networks that spread like wildfire. Everyone had an opinion. Some said I was cruel, vindictive, that I had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. Others, fewer in number, admitted they understood. But the words that haunted me most came from my aunt. You hit her where she was weakest. That's something you can't undo. I thought back to the years when my sister and her friends used to corner me in school hallways, laughing at my swollen belly, whispering insults, calling me ruined. When she had smirked at me during family dinners, relishing in my shame. She never thought I'd fight back. She never thought I'd expose the hypocrisy. But that night, I did. And even as guilt gnawed at me, another feeling surged beneath it. Relief. Because for once, the silence wasn't mine to carry. The story didn't end there. Her boyfriend didn't leave her, but something in their relationship fractured. The bright-eyed certainty she had radiated when introducing him dimmed after that night. She still called me names behind closed doors, but she no longer judged me in public. Maybe she was afraid I'd speak again. Maybe she finally realized that if she cut me, I'd cut back. So here I am, asking the question that's been eating at me ever since. Was I wrong? Was I the villain for throwing her darkest secret into the light? Or was I simply defending myself after years of being dragged through the mud? Tell me, what would you have done? Your turn. Was I justified, or did I go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to know if I crossed a line, or if I finally just drew one.